So round 2 is myths and legends, and starting with you, Dave.
Okay, Georgia State University has been doing a bit of research on the speed of light. The speed of light is not a constant. Rather, it's not a fixed constant. We say it is because it does move at a fixed constant of nearly 300 million meters per second, but that's only through a vacuum. For example, it moves about 225 million meters per second underwater and only 123 million miles per second through diamond, which is a weird one because that means that some particles, like electrons and some neutrinos, can actually move faster than light through these substances.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's a little double whammy there.
I like that.
I was going to say that I was reading about a similar kind of thing, and in fact exactly the same kind of thing at some point during my research, and I found out I think it's one of the helium it moves through. No. Anyway, basically this substance that's I think 2 degrees above absolute zero, and light travels through it at 38 miles an hour. So you can actually see it go.
Excellent.
But it would still get a ticket.
Yeah, talking of 2 degrees above absolute zero and helium, liquid helium existing at about 2 degrees above absolute zero will empty itself out of a container.
I saw that as well. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's proper cool.
Yeah.
So it becomes at that temperature it becomes a superfluid and has no viscosity. So if you were to have a big vat of it and stir it with a spoon, you would feel it would feel like it would freeze, but it would feel like it was completely empty. And then
and it would keep spinning as well. Whereas other liquids might stop spinning in a thing like when you stir your tea.
Yeah.
It keeps going because it has no
self-stirring tea. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I used to work with, geeky by our standards, and I can tell you all that this room is extremely geeky.
By geeks, for geeks.
How dare you?
Calm down with your Star Trek facts.
I've got more.
The dilithium crystals, that's the only thing
I'm here all night. I'm here all night with Star Trek facts.
Because you can't get a ride home from your mum.
But anyway, this guy had an eidetic memory and had studied physics at uni and was insanely smart. And one of those bullshit kind of getting to know you questions that you say when you meet someone. Well, after knowing them a little bit, but I asked, so what would you do with a fortune? And I can't remember the exact name of the substance that he quoted, but he said, well, I'd build a room and I'd pile it all in the middle and I'd coat the floor in this. It's got nearly a zero rank viscosity by itself. So it's nearly frictionless. So just imagine that. You leave the door open and just have someone trying to walk in and it's like, apparently things like ice are like 100 on this scale, where sandpaper would be like 1,000. This is 3.
So he'd build this room with a super slippery floor, purely to see people fall over.
Yeah. Just
imagine the lawsuits.
Well, no, that's the thing. He would build this thing, leave the door open, and pile the rest of the money in the middle.
And if you could get to it, you win.
That seems fair enough to me.
Makes sense. I really want to try that now. I want to try and get that money, damn it. Okay.
Game show, isn't it?
Huh? Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Banzai or whatever the other one, the Japanese one is, where you have to try and do weird shit to earn money.
What's it called?
Takeshi's Castle.
Yes.
Is that it?
No,
Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
I've never seen one all the way through. It just strikes me as surprisingly odd. I've only seen bits and pieces.
It's really weird.
We all kind of go on this kind of, look, the Japanese are so weird and lovely. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Japanese.
Yeah, love the Japanese, just throwing that one out there.
But we go, look, Takeshi's Castle, that's fucking bizarre, that's strange, or any of the other game shows. And then actually hold Takeshi's Castle up to...
The Only Way is Essex.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Just hang them.
Okay.
Like, not up against anything, just
hang them.
I'll be happy. It's knockout. hang it up next to its knockout.
Do you run across inflatable things across giant pools of water? That's the
punch in the face with giant.
Well, you say you've got that, which is lots. Basically, it's lots of stuff happening above water and trying to balance. Whereas, from what I've seen of Takeshi Kanko, you actually get people driving around in little mini cars with cannons on the front and a lot of bright colours and that kind of stuff.
That was the end fight.
I think that might be the bit I've seen.
There's a dark, torturous element to Takeshi's Castle.
I'm seeing kind of Saw, but with
it's like
bright colours,
padded
Jet Set Radio crossed with Saw.
It's terrifying.
Oh Christ! Craig Charles.
I was going to say Christopher Lee. You may enter, but you may never leave.
I saw a version of something a bit like it was some crazy Japanese game show where people got hurt, and it was narrated by Brian Blessed.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Dressed in some sort of spacesuit type thing.
Anything narrated by Brian Blessed is
I absolutely love those people that just have the iconic voice and Brian Blessed,
fly my beauties.
You Stephen Fry, David Attenborough,
Stephen Hawking.
If any of those are likely to listen to this, it's going to be him because it's vaguely science-based.
Yeah, sorry, Stephen. I have a lot of respect for you and everything you've been through.
You people are fucking idiots.
I don't know whether this is an urban myth, but I did hear that he's been offered a much upgraded piece of software to do his voice stuff with.
Oh,
but he's turned it down because his voice is too iconic now.
Yeah, well, that does make sense.
Sounds urban myth, but from some work.
Yeah, if anyone was going to get offered a voice software thing, it would be him.
What if he had Brian Blessed's voice?
The centre of a black hole!
That'd be the best day of my life.
Oh, God.
Listening to a lecture from Stephen Hawking in Brian Blessed's voice.
In fact, I think we've just played top trumps here, but with voices, and I think Brian Blessed wins. Now, consider this. Any BBC animal documentary, not David Attenborough's voice, Brian Blessed's voice.
Look at the little penguin.
Fuck you, gazelle. Who's laughing now?
It beats the Samuel L. Jackson one.
One of my favourite bits from QI is not one of the facts, but actually that Brian Blessed's nickname for Stephen Fry is Spunk Bubble. Apparently he comes like, hello, Spunk Bubble. Just does it all the time.
But you just couldn't be angry with that voice,
could
you?
You could not, no.
Favourite Brian Blessed fact, but punching a polar bear, like.
Oh, hang on, I don't know.
He punched a polar bear.
He punched a polar bear. So he's doing the Arctic expedition, and there's been this polar bear tracking them for like a couple of days, and he hears some rustling outside his tent. He's in bed, and apparently, that word from his own mouth is saying that right at the door, and zips up, and smacks it right on the nose, and it runs off. I'm like, that is why you are my idol, my friend.
Oh,
we need more humans made of this mould.
Absolutely. Let's clone him.
I think we should do an episode on Brian Blessed, to be honest. But,
you could check out his wiki pages.
Yeah, he's done a shitload of stuff. Like he was the oldest man to climb to base camp unaided with oxygen, and he almost made it, I think, the whole way. But he had to turn back.
Recover another member of his team.
Yeah.
You fall behind, stay behind.
Yeah, right. Get off my mountain.
My mountain. Anyway.
Oh God, I wish the guys they went back for his name was Gordon.
Gordon's alive. Yeah. Right, moving on. Jason, I believe you have something to tell us.
Yeah, I don't really care because Brian Blessed.
Fair enough.
I vote for Brian Blessed.
Motion carried. Next round.
Oh no! Come on. Let's
right.
Let's
play
hear about
let's play properly.
The space station.
Yeah. So myths and legends. It's a myth that when you're weightless in orbit, you're weightless. You're not. It's not because you're not affected by Earth's gravity. It's because you're falling the entire time. You just happen to be falling in the correct direction. So you're falling towards the Earth, but you're also in orbit, travelling fast enough so that you miss the Earth every time, and you just keep on falling round and round and round. And that's why you feel weightless, because you're falling.
True fact.
True fact. Tick. You look confused.
Do you mean actually when you're in when you're in an orbit?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking if you're talking deep
not
space,
like birds.
Oh, no. If you're in deep space and you're feeling weightless, then you are affected by insignificant gravity.
Yeah.
Insignificant
You have
gravity. Fire on you.
Oh, damn. I just realised that there's another one that I would have really liked, and this is just in the brain, and it's the amount of distance that you travel in a normal day.
Go for it.
I don't actually have the
Far.
data for it. But even if you lied in bed all day, you could still travel something insane, like 100 billion miles. Because not only are we spinning, so you clock that, but the Earth is spinning, so you clock that.
And the
Sun
galaxy
is spinning, so you clock that.
Yeah.
And it just mounts up, and someone did all the math, and it's just ridiculous.
It's staggering the speed that everything is moving, but we still feel stationary and under control, and we're not pureed across the back wall of the room.
Probably wouldn't have evolved so much if we were pureable.
True.
Or quite so easily. I mean, we are pureable.
Wouldn't have bothered with bones. Just little jelly organism sliding along.
Yeah. Cool. So next one is mine, and this is one of my favourites, and it's really my longest and most long-winded fact.
Oh, good.
It's that infinity is infinite but not infinite. So I've written this down as a speech because it's fucking hard to understand.
Shall I get comfortable?
Yeah, maybe. Right, so just to think, I'm going to keep this short in the interest of the podcast, but there is a lot about it online, so go and look for yourself. This largely originates from the work of George Cantor, who was a 19th century mathematician, amongst other things. Originally, infinite was accepted by infinite, even though some people knew it wasn't. So I think it was Aristotle who started thinking about exactly the same thing, and he came to the first initial conclusions that Cantor did, and went, "I don't want to touch this. I don't think it's the right way for maths to go. I'm just going to leave it. We'll just say no more. Just look the other way." And this happened for a couple of thousand years, or a couple of hundred years. And Cantor started doing the same thing and started thinking about it. So he proved that you can have countable infinities. So, for example, you've got odd numbers, which are infinite, because numbers are infinite. And then you have even numbers, which are also infinite, but you can add them together. So even though both are infinite, that infinity plus that infinity equals double infinity. So you have infinities of different sizes, basically, is what he was going with there. And you can do the same thing with fractions, various different bits, and they could be counted systematically. And then you had real numbers, which is basically every kind of different number. And because there are so many different kinds of real number, which is essentially infinite, that makes up something called a continuum, which is like a really infinite infinity. So a continuum is bigger than infinite. It's numbers you can't really actually think about because it just kind of stretch. I always think about it like Guitar Hero. So you know where it's stretching off into the bit, and you've got the notes coming down, and just you can gradually start to see the ones that are far away, and it keeps getting closer and closer. And the more you put it into conceptual terms, you can grasp, the easier it is to see. But he then proved that you could create an infinite number of bigger infinities just by finding subsets in the infinities that you've already created. So like we say, even, and then you've got prime numbers, various different bits. So it must be an infinite number of prime numbers, blah, blah, blah. And just keep finding subsets of everything that you're looking at. So some mathematicians at the time disliked this because they thought it would bring about the downfall of mathematics, which is amazing because I can't imagine they're not, maths going, oh, it's broken. Have you tried turn it on and off again? Is it plugged in? Okay, it's fucked. So they thought it would bring about the downfall of mathematics because people would be able to prove anything. So you prove something was true using this kind of logical steps of infinity thing, and then you could just as easily prove that there was a contradiction to this rule because there would be. And by proving that there was a contradiction to this thing that you just proved was true, you could either prove that it was true or false, and therefore it would break everything. It'd be like, spinning wheel of death on the Mac or the blue screen of death on the Windows thing from way back when.
That still happens.
You still get the blue screen of death?
I had the blue screen of death at work about a month ago.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad they've left that in. That's like a retro glitch.
I'm so glad I managed to get the conversation away from variable infinities.
Oh, I'm sorry. But...
So yeah, basically, people were worried that it would break maths, and now it's a subsection of pure maths, which is the kind of maths that no one really wants to do unless you're an A-level student who's trying to get into university for a maths degree.
I remember it well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's really tricky stuff. But yeah, anyway, it's now a subset of that, and he's a wonderful person, and it's really interesting. Right, so that was round 2, Myths and Legends. I think we all did very well there. Just to round up the round, we had Dave's Speed of Light, Jason's Eternal Freefall, and my Infinite Infinities. So lots of doubles there. So Dave, who are you going to vote for?
You might have heard, but I absolutely love Infinity. So you got my vote.
Thank you, good sir. Jason?
Well, I really bloody hated the Infinity thing. So I'm going for the Speed of Light, please. Thanks.
Just to be a dick, I'm going to go with Eternal Freefall.
Yay.
Everyone wins! We're all winners! Yay!
Which is odd, because I really feel like a loser right now.